Bergen Community College presents Bergen Bulldog Radio on FIOS Channel 26. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Bergen Community College.
Welcome to Bergen Bulldog Radio, the podcast show, here on the YouTube Bergen Bulldog Radio channel and on FIOS Channel 26 in Bergen County, New Jersey. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get on with the show.
What is this? We're suddenly in the fall of 2024? What am I doing in this booth right now?
It's been a long time since I've been here. It's been 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, for goodness sake, when you took podcasting, you weren't in any studio at all. You were in a TV studio that was not being used anymore.
I was in a TV studio that was not used, and we had a single computer, 2 microphones, and just a mixer, and we called it a day.
Well, sometimes that's all you need. Just a couple guys and a microphone, you got yourself a podcast. It's the inner details of where you're putting your podcast and what you're doing your podcast on that matter more.
That's true, but it's so much fun having all these brand new toys in this brand new studio.
I agree. Yeah, I love this a lot. So I'm Jake Fredo. This is Jordan Burrell. We're here on Bergen's podcast show right now, the Bulldog Podcast Show. Is that the official name that we have here?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. We're here on the show today. We're filling in some time. We're having a good time filling in that time because we love getting behind the microphone. We love this class. We're actually the embedded tutors for it. I don't know if this goes against what our contract stated as embedded tutors, but we just happen to be a part of the show today as a favor to our.
They never said we're not allowed to help the class like this, and we're helping the class out by padding their runtime. And we're also going for the first time. Me and you are going to be on YouTube like this.
This is true. Oh my God, we are going to be on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We didn't have a YouTube channel last year. I run the YouTube channel, and I upload all the videos on the Bergen Bulldog YouTube channel, where you can find all the radio shows, all the podcasts, and all the live events we do there.
And you should subscribe.
Like and subscribe. It will help us out. We have, 20 subscribers?
Something like that.
We want 20,000.
Absolutely. Look, there's enough students here at this school. There's going to be students at all different times joining here over the years. Everyone should just subscribe for the sake of showing your Bulldog pride and spirit and all that.
Or not. I guess not.
No. They subscribe. No, really. But anyway, so we're here. We're having a good time talking. And we didn't really have anything we were going to come in here with. This is kind of a short notice thing. We're just deciding to talk, have some fun.
It's going to be like a variety thing. We're going to talk about a bunch of random stuff.
Thankfully for us, we're not being graded. So we don't have a whole lot to worry about this time around. But so broadcasting here at Bergen Community College, I figured we could at least talk a little bit about that because Jordan and I have the pleasure of knowing that we took all 7 of the broadcast courses
and
here.
passed all of them with flying colors.
Absolutely.
D+ in all those classes.
We went out there. We've done it all here, and to list off some of the things we've done. We've hosted television shows and produced them and directed them. We have made a movie.
Last semester we made a movie, Poster Child.
Check it out.
I kind of want to post that to YouTube, but I gotta ask everyone's permission.
It'd be nice if it got put on the actual Bergen Community College.
Do you think we'll ever get on YouTube?
I'm saying.
Our director's laughing at us.
Our director's at audio engineering right now, as a matter of fact. But so we made a movie. We hosted shows. We've done podcasts.
We edited podcasts.
We've edited.
I'm running the YouTube channel now.
And what gets you to that point is taking some of these classes. And you could be somebody hosting a podcast, making a movie.
You can be on television. You could
TV.
be making a movie. You guys just gotta sign up for the classes.
Exactly. And it's so easy. And here's the unfortunate thing, though. Not a lot of people know about the courses here at Bergen.
And why is not that?
Well, because, it's a little tucked away, all right? Look, it's in the West Hall. Your classes take place in the West Hall on the bottom floor. It's a little tucked away. It leads out into a parking lot that the teachers only use.
The Wi-Fi sucks.
Well, but it's the best kept secret at Bergen is this broadcasting department and this whole track. I can't imagine having gotten my associate's degree in anything else here.
I believe, and I truly believe this, not because I go to the school. I truly believe that we have the best community college here, and anything that does with broadcasting, I feel like we have the best broadcasting system in New Jersey.
I agree. The fact of the matter is, Professor Hemstreet, Brian Hemstreet, who teaches a lot of the broadcasting courses, he said it before to us that we're the only community college
that goes on live television, which I find crazy because. And I guess people don't want to make mistakes on live television. That's television. You got to get that pressure. How is she going to learn to deal with the pressure of live television if you're not going live? It's like trying to simulate a fight without actually going into a fight. You can't do that.
mhm.
You need to be live in front of people in order to get that feeling. And if you mess up, you gotta deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's put your feet to the fire because there's no better way to learn than doing it. You know, like you got to do it. That's the best way to learn. And not a lot of community colleges go that far. Sure, you might be able to do something like this at a university. Like if you go somewhere that they might have their own, obviously, you know, somewhere like Fairleigh Dickinson has their own radio station that, you know, is broadcasted all over the place here in northern New Jersey. But when it comes to a community college, that kind of experience, you're not going to get this level of broadcasting experience anywhere else, really. Not that I know of, anyway.
I went to a bunch of different schools, and they do not have the same systems like this here. This is the best place to learn broadcasting in New Jersey, Bergen Community College right here. They have everything. That you can make movies. They'll let you have your own freedom there. You can be on live television, like we said earlier. The only college that does live television, as far as I know.
Yeah, and you get your own freedom there too.
You can have podcasts that will run by and be on YouTube.
Yeah,
There's so much you can do here.
You
All you
wanna
gotta do
have
is
a
just
demo
sign
reel,
up.
Forget about it. You through taking this path at Bergen Community College, you can end up with your own perfect demo reel. You'll have a little bit of everything in it. Your ability to speak into a microphone, your ability to be in front of a television, and your ability to put together a film like that. You're gonna get everything you need. That you might not even need to go farther than getting your associates.
And there's no better time to join than now. We have so much stuff going for the broadcasting community here. We have the Film Movie Festival where you can turn your films in. We got this brand new studio where we can record. There's so much we can do here.
Yeah, and again, you cannot stress enough the live television aspect because you do that in television too, TV2 production, but you can also do it in radio and podcasting.
And it does something.
Everybody's going live.
Sorry to interrupt you. It does something that no other classes will teach you. Not a lot of other classes. It teaches you to work as a team.
Yes.
Get those tough deadlines. Work together. That's the most important thing in broadcasting. You're gonna need to work together. It brings people out of their shell. It helps people become their own. And like I said, work as a team. If you want to be in this business or any business, you need to work as a team. And a lot of classes don't really offer those collaborative projects like that without the bare minimum.
Yeah,
it's like,
where
oh
it's
yeah,
just,
you
get
team
together.
up,
Yeah,
get a slide.
make a PowerPoint. Just who
Slideshow,
cares,
yeah.
right?
This teaches you the responsibilities of deadline,
Yeah.
working as a group, and maybe you don't like each other. That doesn't matter. You want to be a part of the bigger picture.
Yes. Like there's been plenty of films that have been made here in the digital filmmaking course that we have firsthand knowledge of knowing. Thankfully, not our group, but a lot of groups that just hated each other and worked
and
horribly
could
together,
see.
but they still came together to make something.
It's something, not necessarily good, but
It
it's
may not be
something.
always the best, but yeah, it's something you gotta put your best foot forward. And here at Bergen, you have two main professors that you will learn from in Brian Hemstreet and Robert
Two
Williams.
of the best professors ever.
Yeah, industry professionals, mind you. Professor Williams is still on the air, and Professor Hemstreet, he'll let you know what he's done. He's
A
got
bunch of
himself a good
accolades.
resume.
We'd be here till God. We'll be here forever naming all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. So again, here at Bergen Community College, the broadcasting department is just, God.
It's amazing. It's special. It's something that I wish everyone could experience. But I don't
Yeah.
have to wish. You guys can experience
Yeah.
if you guys just sign up. Maybe if you guys are not sure, just take a class.
Yeah,
Take
take one.
a mass media, take a radio, take podcasting, take TV too.
We had a student in our digital filmmaking course, a kid named Luke. He didn't want to be in digital filmmaking.
No, he got signed up because public speaking was filled up or got
Yeah,
canceled.
so
And he
like,
loved
ended up
it.
enjoying it. So you never know what you can learn from here. You're gonna, and it's a little bit of everything you can apply to anything. Because here in radio and in podcasting, you learn how to speak, you find your voice, and that's going to be helpful for you with anything.
And you learn how to work as a team, which is
Yeah.
going to be helpful it's going to be a lot more helpful in the real world than most the other stuff the college is teaching you.
Absolutely. So that's really all we got to talk about here. I think we've more than overstayed our welcome. So thank you to Professor Williams for giving us the opportunity to talk a little bit today for the podcasting course.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Williams. We really appreciate it. Me and Jake love talking. This is one of our favorite things. We
Yes.
can go forever, but unfortunately, we
Absolutely.
have time limits, and I'm pretty sure we reached our time limit. So
Pretty much.
thank you guys for listening. I've been Jordan Burrell. This has been Jake Fredo, and this has been Bergen Bulldog Podcast. Thank you for
See
listening.
you next time.
Hello to all you listeners out there, and welcome to the very first mini episode of Gift for Gab, a podcast revolving around comic book media. I'm your host, Nate Enriquez, and thanks for tuning in. Today's minis episode is going to be all about my favorite superhero and fictional character of all time, DC's pliable paladin, Plastic Man. Now, this wacky superhero has gotten some major traction in mainstream comics since the 90s. From Grant Morrison's JLA comic run in the 90s, Kyle Baker's award-winning Plastic Man run in 2003, the Injustice comics, and the recent Injustice animated movie, Gail Simone's wonderful 2018 miniseries, DC's alternate zombie universe, Deceased, the recent Black Label miniseries, Plastic Man No More, and more recently making several appearances in DC's newest comic series and events. You got DC All In, Justice League Unlimited, the 2025 volume, and the most recent DCKO, which is a huge tournament between heroes and villains. He was starring in there. He fought Lobo. He lost. But he actually came back and he fought against Sub-Zero in the Mortal Kombat universe. I mean, if you're looking for a stacked resume from a DC character that's not one of their mainstays, look no further than Plastic Man. But needless to say, he's quickly found his way back into the mainstream, both in animated media and in comic books. But this wasn't always the case with him. At one point, DC forgot they even had the rights to him. His origins stem all the way back to the golden age of comic books in his debut of August of 1941 in Police Comics #1, which, fun fact, was less than 2.5 years after Batman's debut. Police Comics was published by Quality Comics, and Plastic Man himself was created by the legendary comic and cartoonist Jack Cole. Plastic Man, also known as Plaz by both his fans and his allies in the comics, was an immediate smash hit upon his debut. He quickly became a lead feature as soon as Police Comics #5, only 4 issues after. He was one of the pioneers of incorporating comedy and humor regularly into comic books. And not only that, but he's also one of the first superheroes to ever break the fourth wall in a comic book. And as we all know, that's a trend that's continued strong in more recent years, with characters like Deadpool and She-Hulk having great success, along with, a lot of the lighthearted and comedic tones that many Marvel movies have. It's probably a large reason that he found such great success in the early days of his comic appearances. Despite that, his tenure as Quality Comics' Golden Goose was short-lived, as the company did shut down in 1956. However, it wasn't the end for this beloved superhero, as DC Comics acquired the rights to the character when Quality shut down. And that was a move that would change his trajectory pretty much forever. Since DC's had Plastic Man, he's had like a number of series. But the ones I listed before are some of his like smash hits, but he's been in a bunch of things. People like Alex Ross, legendary artist, comic book artist Alex Ross, he loves Plastic Man. And so whenever Alex Ross does a major DC event, you can be sure to see Plaz in there. Grant Morrison, same way, he loves Plastic Man. Whenever he's writing Justice League oriented stuff, you can 100% expect to see Plastic Man on the main roster. He's really been in a lot of DC stuff as of recently, which I love to see because I love Plastic Man a lot. He's changed a lot over the years. In Quality Comics, he kind of started as a straight man in a crazy world. He was a straight arrow with wacky powers in a wacky world, but it's kind of flipped on its head as he switched to DC. He's kind of embraced that wackiness in himself. He's more of a wisecracker. He's got a lot of attitude now, and that's kind of a trait that's stayed, especially in the modern comics. We've seen all the antics that he's gotten up to, especially in Grant Morrison's run in 1997. He gets up to a lot of hijinks in there. Needless to say, he's evolved over time, and he's become a character that thankfully has seen a lot of action in the new media, and hopefully we'll get to see him more as these new DC events roll out. That's all the time I have today to talk about my favorite character. This has been the very first mini episode of Gift for Gab. I'm your host, Nate Enriquez, and once again, thanks for tuning in.
Hello, my name is Lorena, and today I will be talking about chess. So, chess is a hobby of mine. I've been playing for like about a year, I would say, a little more than a year. And a lot of people think it's like boring. There's a lot of misconceptions about chess, like it's difficult or like you have to be super smart to play it, I think. But honestly, it's not that difficult and it's not that bad. And so it was invented more than 1,500 years ago in India. It was designed like as a simulation of war, and then it spread to Persia and then Spain, and then when it was introduced into Europe, there it evolved into the modern form that we all know today. So sometimes people think that like they'll never learn it because you don't try it, but I picked it up pretty quickly. I play on chess.com. I have a chess board at home, but it's glass and it's kind of more for like decoration in the house. It's antique and no one knows how to play it, so we don't use it. It just grows dust and then we dust it and then it grows dust again. But I started playing on chess.com and that's how I learned. It's pretty easy to learn on there because it shows you where you can move the pieces. So the pieces are the king, the queen, the rook, the bishop, the knight, and then you have your pawns. And the board is an 8x8 board. There's 64 total squares. And there's light squares and dark squares. And there's 2 players. Each of them gets 16 pieces. And the goal is to trap the king so it can't move. And that's a lot of information. But when you start playing it, you get like used to the pieces. Like right now, if you were to ask me what does the bishop do, it moves like 3 up and 2 to the left, but it took me like a long time, I would say, to know exactly what the pieces are and where they move. I still get confused like which is the queen and which is the king, honestly, just because they look similar online. But yeah, once you play, you kind of just get the hang of it. So on chess.com and chess in general, there's this thing called an ELO. It's basically like your ranking. So if you win a game, your ranking goes up. If you lose a game, it goes down. It's kind of like any other game. And this ranking was made up by some Hungarian mathematician. I forget his name, but he's very smart. So and a regular ranking, a regular ELO is or standard ELO is about 1,000, and my ELO is a 200. So obviously I'm not the best, but it's like it's fun to play. And my highest ELO was about like 400. I've never reached 1,000, and I think like the grandmasters are at like 2,000 and up. But if you're not playing it like for as your career or anything, like doesn't really matter. So I play and I lose and I win. Like at one point when I played like 48 matches, I lost like 20 matches and I won like over 20 matches. So, and I think for me, there's a lot of benefits to chess. Um, it helps you like improve your memory, which my memory is really bad. So it increases your problem solving skills, your focus. It exercises your brain. You know, it makes you think ahead. That's what I like about it. You always have to think ahead, and once you know where the pieces move, like you have to play with what you'll move, and you also have to think with what your opponent does. And it does get competitive, and it does stress you out. But I think it never stresses me out like more than real life stresses me out. So that's what I like about it because like if I lose like 3 games in a row, so what? Like it's not going to kill me. So and it reduces stress, it fights against dementia. Well, it helps decrease your risk of dementia, and I guess it just improves your overall skills. So there's many benefits. And yeah, so I go to the gym and I use the treadmill for like an hour or 2 hours, and I play chess on the treadmill. So it's like a double whammy. I exercise my body and then exercise my brain. So it pretty much works out because if I wasn't playing chess, I would probably be like just on my phone wasting my time on something else. Some people read on the treadmill, but I can't like move and read at the same time. I like to read, but I can't read on the treadmill, and I don't like reading on like my iPad or anything. So I bring my iPad and I place it on the treadmill and I play chess with no shame. My iPad in my gym, and it's pretty much fun. So I would recommend you play chess.com if you want to get if you want to get started with chess, you should play on chess.com. And it when you first start, you will be placed with other beginners, and then yeah, so my ELO is right now probably like 200. So they would put me against other people that are around the 200, and then you just play with them. If you want to get started, go on chess.com. And that's all for today. Thank you. Bye.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Gonzalez, and today I'm going to talk about something that I'm sure most people really enjoy. And that's food. Come on. Who does not love food? It's delicious. Everyone loves it. But I'm sure we all get that sweet tooth feeling where you just crave something nice and sweet to eat. We call that sugar. Now, let's be for real. Everybody, or most people, would love to have some sugar. Nice, sweet, something that tastes good. Probably want more of it, right? But as much as that is the case, I'm going to have to warn you guys, to save you guys, and help you out. Because too much sugar can lead to a lot of serious issues. Now, let's start with some minor situations such as acne breakouts, in your face. In your face, it gets bad. And you don't want that. It's always want to look presentable. And with acne, it's a bit more difficult to do so. You could also reach for multiple snacks, which will make you hungrier and want more food. And there comes to a point where we got to put the fork down. It comes to a point to that. And the more you grab the snacks, the harder it is. And with sugar, it just makes you want more. You crave more of it because it just does that to you. It makes you want more. That's what it's designed to do, is just to make you eat more sugar. It can also lead to mood swings where you feel more moody, in a bad mood. You don't feel as happy, I guess you could say. Maybe for like a short amount of time, you feel like really happy. But after that, it goes down the hill. And that goes to my next point where you have lack of energy. You lose energy really quickly. It gets a huge spike and then it goes down. And it feels horrible. It really does not feel good to have no energy. Because you want to go through your day. You don't want to go through your day all drained like a zombie. You want to go through your day feeling energetic, feeling good about yourself, feeling ready to crush what's in front of you. And with too much sugar, it's a bit rough. It's a bit rough. And it could also lead to some more severe situations, such as gaining fat. And a little weight gain isn't too big of a deal, but too much could lead into fatty liver disease, which is not pretty. It could cause diabetes, and that's a really severe case going on. It goes on pretty frequently. It's very known these days, and that could turn into something even worse, which is heart disease. Now, I'm not trying to scare you when I say this information, because I'm sure we all love sugar, and it's something we should moderately eat. If you want it, it's not really like recommended into your cravings or like what your intake of food, but too much of it, I mean, you can eat it moderately. You can eat it moderately, and it turns bad. It gets too bad, and it also could lead into raising blood pressure, which causes inflammation, and that can make mucus, which causes you to get sick. And nobody wants to get sick. Come on, who actually wants to get sick? And you think it's the food that does it, but the sugary beverages is what really does it, because it's super easy to like drink too much sugar, where it's easier to like see how much you're eating, which is still difficult. People don't realize how much sugar they're actually eating and drinking, especially drinking. Too much beverages can add up faster because you think it's a little drink. What's that gonna do, right? It's not a big deal. It's not gonna stop you. But overall, right? Make sure to just watch how much you're eating because it can really add up. Make sure to eat in moderation if you want it, because I know you love sugar. I'm not telling you to cut it out, but just be aware of how much to eat. Thank you, everybody. I'm Nick Gonzalez. Have a good night.
Hello, my name is Justin Gonzalez, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about something I am very passionate about. What I want to talk to you guys today is what I'm calling God's mercy and human responsibility. And I want to look at a parable with you guys from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 13, verses 6 through 9. And it goes as follows. This is Jesus speaking. And he began telling this parable. A man had a fig tree, which had been planted in his vineyard. And he came looking for fruit, and he did not find any. And he said to the vineyard keeper, Look, for 3 years I've come looking for fruit on this fig tree without finding any. Cut it down. Why does it even use up the ground? But he answered and said to him, Sir, leave it alone for this year too, until I dig around it and put in fertilizer, and if it bears fruit next year, fine. But if not, cut it down. So in this parable, Jesus is telling a story about a fig tree that's not producing any fruit. The fig tree is planted in a vineyard, but bears no fruit for 3 years. The owner comes to him and tells him to cut down the tree because he believes it's taking up space and wasting resources. But the gardener asks for 1 more year to be able to fertilize, water, and allow the tree to be able to give it 1 more chance to be able to produce fruit. In the interpretation of this parable by Jesus, the fig tree represents each human soul. We are the trees in this story. God is the gardener and has given us time, grace, and care. And God rightly expects that, just as anyone, is that when you put in effort to something, or when you put in care and compassion and grace into something, that there would be results. The gardener is often understood as Jesus himself, interceding for us, being that middleman between God the Father and us as humanity, who are trying to have a communion and relationship with him. So the story is about God being patient, merciful, and slow to judge us. This patience is given for the sake of our repentance, so that while we're here on this earth, not only is God always ready, always available, always here for you, always here to give you love, give you truth, give you correction, give you grace, but there is a responsibility that we have on our end to respond to that grace. And God's mercy is real. It is infinite. It is unlimited, but it is not endless. That's where we come in. Our responsibility, the responsibility of all of us as humans, is to move beyond words and actually live a reality of repentance. Repentance being a change of mind. For example, if someone was stuck in a sin or something that they know is wrong, to repent, to change one's mind, would be to turn 180 degrees around the other way and live whatever would be the opposite of that in truth, goodness, and righteousness. So while God, again, like we said before, does always offer grace, does always offer forgiveness, does always offer mercy, it is up to us as humans to respond to that grace. Some say yes, some say no, but overall, God always offers it. The spiritual fruit of repentance, of saying yes to Jesus, includes repentance in and of itself as a healing for our souls, which leads to humility, love, and a transformed life. So in this parable, again, we as the trees are planted, grown, yet produce no fruit. It shows us that even if we are grounded in a certain situation, we still might not be fulfilling what it is that we're called to do. In those moments, we have to look to God's grace, look for his forgiveness, look for his wisdom, his guidance, ask for forgiveness, and get back up. One of the most important things that I've been able to learn from my life as a Christian is that you can fall, you can make mistakes, 1,000 mistakes in a day, but it's about continuing to get back up. Thank you so much for listening to me. God bless you, and have a good night.
You know, I think movies and video games are pretty great. However, have you ever thought about the two merged together? My name is Elliot, and today I'm going to talk about the upcoming Super Mario Galaxy movie. This is the sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie that was released in April of 2023. Personally, I really liked the movie. I loved all the references. I liked the story that they used in the movie. Even though it wasn't the typical Princess Peach gets kidnapped, and instead it was Luigi, and Princess Peach was with Mario during the movie, I think it was pretty good. The visuals were great. The voice actors are pretty good. I know a lot of people were on the fence about Chris Pratt being Mario, but he actually didn't do too bad. Which surprised me because in the 2024 Garfield movie, I feel like he didn't really sound like Garfield that much. I felt like he just sounded like Chris Pratt, like he did in other movies. Like the Lego movie from 2014, also, I kind of felt like just Chris Pratt. And obviously Guardians of the Galaxy, which he's pretty known for, is that's just Chris Pratt, which makes sense because he's more of an actor and less of a voice actor there. But regardless, the new promotional material for the second movie looks really good. There's been trailers and such for it, and I've pretty much watched all of the trailers a couple times over now, and I am very, very excited to see it. And the visuals, just like the first one, look phenomenal, if not better. There's new models, obviously, for the new characters coming out, such as Rosalina, who will be voiced by Brie Larson. I'm really excited to see Rosalina on the big screen because from the few seconds of trailer she's been in, she looks very pretty. And the recent promotional artwork of her like full body model is very nice and looks very colorful, which I think is awesome, which is perfect for Mario Galaxy. Bowser Jr. is also coming to the big screen, voiced by Benny Safdie. I have no idea who this is, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, listening to his voice on Bowser Jr.'s character does not sound right at all, because with Rosalina, she's very, like, soft and, like, gentle, which Brie Larson seems to translate very well. Bowser Jr. as a character is a mischievous little bratty baby who has a bib as one of his iconic, I suppose, character visuals with crayon drawn onto it in the form of teeth. So I'm not sure why he sounds like a teenager in 8th grade or 9th grade compared to a little child, a little evil child who is the descendant of Bowser. I'm not sure what went wrong there, but I really don't think Benny Safdie should be the voice actor. But maybe he'll prove me wrong, and I'm really hoping he will. I don't want the voice of Bowser Jr. to take away from the rest of the movie because of how good it's been looking. And hopefully that will not be a big issue. I think a lot of people also have the same complaint, but recently all the promotional images, I feel, are definitely taking away from that and focusing like, hey guys, look at the fantastic visuals we are coming up with behind the scenes. Like, don't worry about Benny Safdie. We are making beautiful artwork here. And I think that's a good PR move, personally. Ignore that guy. Look at the pretty colors, guys. Look at the pretty colors. They really do reflect the games very beautifully, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which, by the way, just saying, there may be a future podcast from me about those games and some other Mario games coming up. Just saying. Well, that's all the time I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this little movie review of sorts on the upcoming Super Mario Galaxy movie, and hopefully you guys will watch it with me. So, see you guys next time.
Welcome to the JPG project for all your political, sports, legal, and entertainment news. I'm your host, Joshua Gallatin. We will be covering a wide range of different topics on this podcast as we start to launch episodes for all of you. But before I get into all that, I just want to give a big shout out to a few people. To my parents for guiding me through tough times. I don't need to get into all of that. To my sister, you and I feed off of each other, so thank you. Feed off of each other's strengths to be more specific. I could get into a whole other group of people but that would only prolong the show. Now, we just wrapped up a huge NFL season that was full of surprises, twists and turns, and the like, including this year's Super Bowl champions in the Seattle Seahawks, led by, former Jets quarterback Sam Darnold. I feel like the Jets fans are going to cringe when I say that, and when I bring this up even more in the future and future episodes. Not to mention witnessing the greatest turnaround in college football sports history, with the Indiana Hoosiers nearly a month ago removed from their first national championship title in football. More on that in just a moment. And, as if the headlines in the political and legal worlds don't stop to this date, from the largest Iranian protests in some time to the ongoing trial of Luigi Mangione, from the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie to the arrest of, yes, former CNN anchor John Lemon. The next few episodes are going to be huge to get things going for this very podcast you're listening to right now. We'll be going into a deep dive of Super Bowl 60 along with the 2026 season in review, while also looking towards the NFL Scouting Combine and then ultimately the NFL 2026 NFL Draft in Pittsburgh. I will be giving you my thoughts on the prospects and those who can raise their draft stock in Indianapolis this end of the month. And in honor of the Hoosiers winning their CFP title, I am bringing on a very special guest close to my heart with ties to Indiana at some point in the future episode to help me recap the run while also looking towards the 2026 season as the Hoosiers try to repeat. We'll also be analyzing the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping and Don Lemon arrests on later episodes as we try to get rolling. And for all of you who are listening, when I go into political talk or legal cases, because yes, legal cases can involve politics at times, I won't be going to thinking left or right, but rather right and wrong. Because in society right now, which is very volatile and polarizing, we need to stop the infighting and understand that yes, we need to speak truth to matter. And even though there are political leaders on both sides who are trying to discredit what truth really is, we need to speak truth to power, and even if those people on either side of the aisle don't approve. Not to mention that this podcast will be full of that type of content. We will be dropping episodes very regularly, so please stay tuned for more content, and I hope you will listen down the road, because this is going to get very, very fun, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do as I bring you more good news. And now, that's all for us today. I'm your host, Joshua Gallatin, signing off.
Hello, my name is Aiden Moreno, and today I'll be briefly recapping last week's 11th Congressional Special Election results here in New Jersey. And then I'll dedicate a short section at the end to give my personal 2 cents on how things went from somebody who's trying to get into politics more. So, this congressional special election was heading with two Democratic nominees, Analia Mejia and Tom Milanowski, former representative from New Jersey. And he conceded from the special election primary, and he congratulated Mejia and said he would support her in the April general election. Analia, let's give some background for Analia Mejia. She is a grassroots organizer and nationally recognized for advocating for working families. She's running for Congress to make government better for working people. She's had similar comeuppance reminiscent of Zohan Mamdani, the mayor of New York now, with similar policies like a government for people, not billionaires, and controversial opinions like abolishing ICE. Let's give a little background about her grassroots approach. She's been fighting for 25 years to take back power from the rich and give it back to the people. And that's what she promises to do in Congress. Some of her agenda includes getting big money out of politics, ending corruption in Congress, and billionaire tax dodging and reforming the court. She also believes in protecting the 14th Amendment and equality for all. She also believes in tax investment income, like work, and make big corporations pay their fair share. Now, as someone who is getting into politics, I'm very interested because Tom Malinowski is more of a center-left establishment Democrat, and he has how do I put this? Well, let's say he was funded by a lot of big bipartisan lobbying groups like if I could pull this up real quick, like APAC, which is a prominent bipartisan lobbying group in the United States. And he ironically blamed actually his the reason he conceded was because he got a bunch of attack ads on him by APAC, which is kind of ironic because he was taking a lot of money from them, which I find interesting. But that's why he conceded, according to him. But I guess quickly I give my opinion on the race. I mean, a lot of people said it was an upset because Mejia, generally unknown name she came out of nowhere almost. So it's very surprising. But as far as endorsements, she's endorsed by U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, U.S. Rep. AOC, and now recently Governor Mikey Sherrill. So some pretty big names, all progressives as well. And I think that this is a good overall. This is a good change in the Democratic Party. As far as progressives, I say this is a huge win. And as someone getting into politics, she seems like a good change for the party, as in she's unbought and she's against corporation in a time that I think a lot of people are less confident in the political system right now. So I think this is overall a good movement that we're seeing here in New Jersey. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen during this general election in April. And I will keep up and keep being informed as far as this race goes. So that's my opinion. That's my two-piece. I'm Aiden Brano. Good night, folks.
Hi, I'm Alyssa, and today I'm ranking my favorite music artists because if you looked at any of my playlists, you'd probably be a little bit confused. I usually tell people I listen to a little bit of everything, and I do genuinely mean that. But there are definitely some artists I always come back to no matter what mood I'm in. Because for me, and I feel like for a lot of other people, music is very mood-based. Like, we don't wake up and think, oh, I'm only going to listen to this one genre today. It really depends on how we're feeling. Like, if we're emotional, overthinking, getting ready, need something to feel confident, or just want something for comfort or nostalgia. So the artists I'm talking about today kind of represent different versions of me depending on the day. So I'm going to start with probably the artist I connect with the most emotionally, which is Pierce the Veil. Pierce the Veil is my go-to when I'm in my feelings or I just want something more intense than most music. Their music is dramatic, but like in the best way, and it feels very real. I feel like when you listen to them, you're not just listening in the background, you're fully in it, like you're in the song. It's the kind of music you listen to when you want to feel understood or just let yourself feel everything instead of pretending you're fine. Next is Paramore, which feels more emotional but in an empowering way. Their music feels like growing up, if that makes any sense. Like, it's relatable but also motivating. And I feel like a lot of their songs are about figuring yourself out and learning from your experiences. Like, for me, I grew up listening to Paramore, and I feel like they definitely did help a lot get me through certain experiences and reminding me that, you know what, everything will be okay and everything will work out. I feel very understood when I listen to Paramore. Then there's Halsey, who I feel like is right in between emotional and expressive. Her music taste feels very personal, almost like reading someone's diary. And I think that's why so many people connect with her and her music. I listen to her when I'm in my head or just want something that feels honest and a little vulnerable. She just has a way of capturing feelings that are hard to explain. And yeah, I'm not someone that is very expressive, so she's like a breath of fresh air for me. But now, switching the vibes completely, Doja Cat is my confidence music. Like, if I'm getting ready, going out, or just want to feel good about myself, she's always in rotation. Her music is more fun, bold, and doesn't take itself too seriously, which I love. She just makes me feel more confident and a little more carefree. And sometimes that's the energy you need, especially if you're someone like me and you are a lot more shyer. She's like definitely someone that makes you feel a lot more confident in yourself. Another vibe change, we have BTS, which is a K-pop group. For me, BTS feels more comforting and positive and nostalgic in certain ways, because I got into them in middle school and they got me through some really hard times. And I think most of their music, in my opinion, has always had more uplifting energy. And a lot of their messages are about self-love and pushing through hard times, which I've always really liked about them. Even if you don't know every lyric, you could feel the emotion behind their songs, and it just feels very genuine. Listening to them is like a reminder to be kinder to yourself. But if I had to rank all of them, I'd probably put Pierce the Veil at the first, because I connect with them the deepest emotionally. Then Paramore and Halsey, because they feel very personal in different ways. Then BTS for comfort, and Doja Cat for confidence and fun. But what I think is interesting about all these artists is that they represent different moods and sides of my personality. Like, I could be emotional and introspective, but also playful and confident depending on the moment. So even though my music taste might seem all over the place, it actually makes sense when you think about it as different versions of me. I think music is just personal because it becomes like a soundtrack to whatever you're going through at the time in your life. And the artists you keep coming back to usually say a lot about you as a person. But yeah, those were some of my top favorite artists, and thanks for listening.
Hi, my name is Nick, and today I'm going to be talking about the RuPaul's Drag Race Season 6 episode, the Rated Queen Talent Show Part 2. So, in this episode, we had the second half of the queens do their talent show performances, as well as the other half of the queens from the first episode are rating the performances of the girls from this episode. So, I'm going to start by going over the performances and what I thought about them. First was Athena. She did Athena Dion, did a Greek lip syncing number. I thought it was cute. I don't think it was anything crazy. I don't love Athena this season. I think she's underperforming. Like, I really had high expectations for her coming in, and now she's just like really not giving me what I want. And her performance was like okay. And I'll talk about her placement later because I have some other opinions on that. But the next performance I'm going to talk about is Discord. I thought Discord's was cute. she made it out like she was going to be playing live instruments, and I'm pretty sure she was playing the live instruments, but at least in the episode, watching from home, you definitely could not tell if she was playing them live, and it sounded like they were recorded. But I thought it was cute. I think she ended up placing like in the middle from the ratings of the girls, which I think is like fine. Like I don't think she was anything crazy. I liked her little twist on the another drag song, whatever, but it was fine. Jane was probably my favorite performance of this episode. Plain Jane is like my current frontrunner. I really like her. I love her looks. She's so funny. Her performance was really funny. It was a reference to something that I like don't know, but like expected performance from Jane. Like she did a great job as expected, and she ended up in the top for it. Kenya did a lip syncing number. And literally throughout the episode, Michelle came into the workroom and was like, "You need to know the words. You need to know the words to your lip sync." It's literally her talent. She chose to lip sync and she didn't know the words. And she messed up the words and she started sticking her tongue out when she didn't know the words. That was pointless. I really think that she was definitely the worst performance of the night. I don't know if she was the worst performance of the talent show because Vita last week was horrid. She totally should have went home, but we'll get to that. And the last performance of the night was Mikey Meeks. Everyone loves Mikey Meeks. I think she's cute. Her performance was nice. She did a little burlesque inspired like Frankenstein number. I thought it was really cute. It should not have been ranked in the bottom like it was. And then she ended up being in the bottom with Sierra this episode. But let me quickly, before I go over the placements, I'm going to go over the looks because that is like half the episode. Athena's look was like, honestly, I did not like it at all. I really don't like that shape that she keeps doing with like I don't even know how to describe it. The runway category was shake, shake, shake. And I really did not see that from her. Sierra looked okay. Sierra missed. She had like a very like a Vegas-y kind of look. Apparently she was supposed to wear something else, but since she was lip syncing that episode, she changed it into something that she could lip sync more in, which like I understand, but I don't know. She ended up like I didn't really love it. I think Darlene did something really cute. It's very like club kid, very different, and I liked it. It definitely did fit the shake 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 category there. And I liked it. I think she ended up just like being safe in the episode, but I liked it a lot. Discord is always doing her political stuff. I thought it was okay. I really didn't see the prompt, and her walk really does throw me off. Like I know it's like the joke is like the Discord walk, but it really I don't love it. Jane was amazing as always. I loved her look. I don't know how much it fit the prompt, but I really liked it because she always looks good. Juicy, who is also one of my front runners. I think her look was just kind of crafty. It was made of paper. Like I did not love it. Kenya's same thing, very crafty looking, like very last minute, low budget. Mia was good. I think this was a nice different look for Mia. She's not very like goth emo usually, and I really liked seeing her like that. It was a little switch of pace for her. Mikey looked so cute. I think Mikey was totally robbed this episode. Even though I did love her performance. Nene looked amazing as always. I love Nene Coco. And then she looked amazing. Vito was like, nah. And then quickly let me go over the lip sync. Athena should not have been in the top, and she did not win that lip sync. But, you know, they had to give her that win because she's like the old woman. But anyway, Jane was robbed, and that's all the time I have for today.
Okay, listen, have you noticed that stories don't just live in one place anymore? They jump from books to movies to TV shows to games to social media, and suddenly the story feels alive in ways you never expected, and you can engage with it on a multitude of platforms. Let's go way back to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It isn't just a novel anymore, it's a stage adaptation, movies, even video games. The Wizard of Oz, books, films, stage, theme parks, merchandise, whole universes. And then there's something like the Blair Witch Project, which literally made the internet part of the story. Some stories go full-on giant. I'm talking Marvel, DC, Star Wars. These are decade-spanning, medium-hopping, fan-consuming, obsession-generating worlds. This is narrative on the move. Inside Expanding Story Worlds, the podcast where I dive headfirst into these sprawling universes. I'm Lillian Venskis, film and media nerd, and a community college teacher, aka someone who gets paid to think way too much about stories and loves talking about them even more. I'll be digging into these worlds using everything from academic theories to totally unverified Google searches, fan wikis, and who knows what else. The framework I use to understand them is what's called transmedia storytelling. And at its basic, it's the idea that stories expand over multiple platforms, with each platform crucially contributing something new to the narrative rather than just repeating it. So, yes, I use an academic term, transmedia storytelling, because I'm a little nerdy like that. I just can't help myself, so you're warned. And yeah, transmedia storytelling is my starting point, but this is a field that's still emerging, it's still evolving, and I can't wait to explore other ways to think about it, other theories, other perspectives. It's a massive living playground of narrative. And here's the thing, how you experience the story changes depending on the medium. Did you see the film first or read the book? Are you a gamer who then had to check out the show? Video games, board games, interactive websites, they all offer different affordances that shape your engagement. And yeah, I used another big word, and I warned you. And speaking of interacting, I'm terrible at video games, right? I'm a ghastly gamer. You would dread to have me on your team. So I've yet to touch something like Fallout on Prime. So that's tragic, right? My first taste of this world of transmedia was watching Star Trek with my family. My journey started from the small screen, and I'm talking the original television series, but it was in reruns because I'm not that old, right? And then we moved to the big screen, and then back to the small screen with the show The Next Generation, which is my personal favorite because I heart Wesley Crusher. And suddenly, this Star Trek universe felt bigger, more alive, and full of new possibilities. Then, my obsession really took hold about 10 years later with the film The Blair Witch Project and my first home computer. Suddenly, stories weren't just something you watched. They were everywhere, waiting to be explored, dissected, theorized about. And this is where fans come in, because fans don't just consume. They're going to add to the story. They're going to sometimes create headcanon, sometimes testing the boundaries of hard canon. Fans will remix content, contribute to wikis, debate on forums, and create communities where stories expand beyond what the original creators imagined. So fans are co-creators, theorists, archivists, sometimes even authors in their own right. And of course, industrial and commercial considerations matter too. The official story world is often shaped by marketing, merch, and big business strategies. Yes, it's complex, and yes, I love it all. And then fan takes all of that and they leave the building, literally. So my earliest convention experience was an X-Files convention. And since then, I've seen fandom thrive in conventions, expos, cosplay events, and even Bridgerton balls. People are literally inhabiting these worlds. So this first season will be a 4-part overview of how different franchises embody transmedia storytelling. And we'll start with Star Trek, the OG fan culture and world-building narrative. Then we'll dive into cyberpunk, exploring how an offline tabletop role-playing game evolved decades later into the digital age with video games and anime shows. Next, we're going to look at the Blair Witch Project and the marketing genius of using the internet to expand the narrative. And then finally, I'm going to examine the power of fandom with the television show Supernatural, where fan engagement and co-creation practically shaped the story itself. To wrap up, on this podcast, I trace how stories expand across media, how different platforms change the experience, and how fans interact online and offline. I'll share my own obsessions, have guests share theirs, highlight examples from small and giant franchises, and try to make sense of these networks of narratives that pull people in and refuse to let go. Next time, the journey begins with my first love, the world of Star Trek. Set phasers to nerd. Bye.
The podcast show here on Bergen Bulldog Radio was engineered and edited by Jordan Burrell. Our Our Bulldog mascot is Jameson. The next episodes will air beginning Friday, February 27th, 2026. The executive producer of Bergen Bulldog Radio is Professor Robert Williams. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Bergen Bulldog Radio.